Good morning, everybody. I got my coffee. I got my vape. Let's talk a little. So today I am readjusting, reevaluating, and making a game plan for the rest of the fourth quarter. But first, let's take a sip. As you notice, I'm inside. It's kind of cold and rainy. I like to be outside. It kind of clears my head. Love being in nature. But it's going to be getting cold. There's going to be a lot of mornings that the weather isn't going to be compatible with it. So I, instead of putting off the coffee with Phil into the last minute and doing a really crappy job, I decided to find myself an alternate place. And yes, I am scheduling when I'm doing these now. So they should be, I shouldn't have any issue with getting these out on time, which hasn't been really an issue from your side, as far as you know. So anyway, as usual, a lot of times I get inspiration for these chats from chats that I've been in and other people's shows. And a lot of times it's the same people. Well, Scott and Shane, Bearded Picker and Rise and Grind Picker, they have a hangout on YouTube Friday nights. And this Friday night they were talking about scheduling. They were actually talking about time management. That's the word I was looking for. And my brain needs some more coffee, so hold on just a second. And like Scott, I've had read a lot of books and had training on time management, and I've only found one that really helped me at all. I'm not a very structured person. I do well when I have some structure, but I also do well when I leave some flexibility in that structure. I try not to be too hard on myself, but I try not to be too easy on myself either. And the name slips me, the author, that I will have to mention that in another chat. But first thing he started off with was the fact that there's no way to manage time. So stop thinking about managing time. It's more of a subconscious thing. But when you're trying to say, I'm going to move this mountain, your subconscious is going like, whew, really? But if you say, I'm gonna move those boulders over there, and that's a little more manageable. So that was just his point, is you can't manage time. You can only manage events. And I know that may sound like, play of words, but it really isn't. It's a way of thinking. I'm not dealing with time structure. I'm dealing with importance of events first. So as you list all the things that you do, and a good way to do that is to follow yourself around, carry around a piece of paper, or you can do it on your phone, and jot down what you do in the time that you do it. And then make a list of the things that you do, make a list of the things that you need to do, and then prioritize them, A, B, and C. And A would be the most urgent, or the most important, not necessarily urgent. B would be the next, and C would be stuff that, it's going to be on your palate until you get it done. It doesn't matter necessarily when you do it. A would be things that really need to be done right now, or here's a really cool concept, are forward-moving events. In other words, they are actually moving your goals forward, or your project, or your business, or whatever you're planning. It's moving it forward. Here's a good example. For me, I have a really large investment pile of stuff. I really wouldn't have to source for a long time. I probably have a good 4 or 5 thousand items, and I'm not, I'm kind of preaching to the choir because a lot of people have that. So sourcing for me is not necessarily a forward moving event. Now, if you have a small inventory and you're actually doing the things the way that works the best, you buy stuff, you list it, and you sell it, and then you buy stuff. You keep your inventory that's not listed down, and you have a steady source that you can get new items. That's the ideal. Then that would be a forward moving event. But for me, it's not. It's feeding my FOMO, fear of missing out. It's actually relaxing for me. I do it for fun. And also, I do still, I do buy things that I make money on, and I learn on, and it keeps me in touch with the market and what we have around. Also helps keep my relationships that I have built up. So there's a number of things, but it doesn't help me with my goals. My goals is to have over 2,000 items in my store, to be able to, my goal financially is I would like to make $75,000 a year just from this alone. That way, with Myrna's music and the other things that we have going on, that it gives flexibility and stability. So those are my goals, and also a shared goal with my lovely wife is to get some of this a pile down, get some of these things gone that are in the way, and get some order that way. So for me, what is the forward moving event? The biggest one is listing. Obviously, if the stuff isn't listed, it's not out there, it's not in the showroom. When people go to your store, they can't find it. If it's not out there, then people who are looking for it aren't going to find it. They don't have this, I see it in Phil's garage, it's underneath the typewriter and over to the left, there it is, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Boom. I wish that happened. That would be kind of cool, huh? Okay, as you can tell, I need more coffee. So that's a really good example. I learn a lot from YouTube, from watching videos. So you would think that was a forward moving thing, but it doesn't actually do anything to move my business forward. It is skill. It is important. That would fall into the B. Keeping up on videos that educate me. And a lot of the educating ones also are fun and also are social. But some of them are redundant. And although I really enjoy watching them, they would fall into the B category. Absolutely. Maybe even the C category. They're great, but they should be, it's important to have fun. It's important for me, not to have too much structure and to keep the fun in there. If I don't have passion, then I get bored, and I have a hard time getting momentum when that happens. So I got to schedule in fun as well. So I schedule those things in time, like when I used to watch TV. I haven't had cable for many, 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 many years. I do watch Netflix. So in the times where I am not, when I am the least physically able to be productive, those are the times that I can fit those things in. So, so what I did this morning is I made a quick list. I just kind of jotted down. You're not going to be able to read it. My hands shake a little bit. Well, as you can see, my hands shake. It's a issue that I've had my whole entire life. It's not really a problem. Went to an Air Force doctor when I was 7. My mom brought me there. And he said, well, the only thing he could do is do what I do, drink. I followed that advice. Really, really worked on following that advice for most of my life. Anyway, so this is a list of distractions and fixes, things that are keeping me from my goals. Here we are a third of the way into fourth quarter, and I'm not where I would like to be. There's reasons for it. There's health reasons. There's our trip to Colorado, things that were important. But and then I have to have a little bit of time for my body to adjust and heal from doing things that are, I enjoy doing. But anyway, so I'm not where I'd like to be. So how do I get where I want to be? Basically, fourth quarter for me at this particular point is all leave canceled, all hands on deck. It's important to get as many items out there. This is a push time. I would have liked to have been push time a couple of months ago. And if I would have done that, then I would actually probably be at a lot of my goals right now and be able to take advantage of fourth quarter to the highest. And I actually learned something this year. By watching and being friends with a lot of people who have a lot more, I wouldn't say success, but they're where I would like to be. They're at that next goal for me or above. The people that are are seeing the most coming from fourth quarter are the people that have 1,000 items or more in their store. They list on a regular basis, not necessarily 50, 60, 100 things a day, but they list on a regular basis and not necessarily every single day. They have habits, they have the tools they need, and they have routines so that they can be very productive. They don't have to think about what do I do next, which is on my list. And so I'm emulating not necessarily the way they do it, because I need to do things a little bit different than everybody else, and I think everybody does. In fact, with this video, I'm not going to teach you anything. I'm giving you some food for thought, but also I'm just sharing what I'm doing for myself, and it may spark in you what you would want to do. I do suggest writing things down, making quick lists. I suggest that. I'm not very good at following that, but when I do, it really, really, really helps me. So anyway, I'm gonna drink again. Sorry guys, it's that kind of morning. So I'm gonna share with you some of the things that get in the way of me being productive. Confusion. I have a problem, and this is health. And again, this isn't poor me or anything like that. I'm sharing with you the challenges that I have to work with, and they're not all mental, and they're not all organizational. There are some physical, and some of the physical things I'm limited to what I can do. But for a lot of it, I can work around it. I can figure it out. And so confusion is a big thing. I tend to get dizzy. I tend to get confused when, a lot of times when I have too many choices. That's a big one for me. If I am sharp this morning, my brain is working pretty good. It's not quite woken up, but I don't have a problem solving. I love doing that. But if I'm not quite at my top, too many choices will send me into a spin of trying to figure out what's the best thing, worrying about not doing the best thing and making bad decisions. And I just get confused, and what I turn out doing is I wind up doing things that aren't as productive because they're the easiest thing, the closest thing for me to go to. So I have found, and I've shared this before, that before I quit the night before, if I figure out what I am doing the next day and schedule it and actually write it down, then in the morning I can go to it and say, okay, I've done this. This is what I need to do. Okay, this is done. What's the next thing? Boom, it's right there. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to do that. How about I move down to this one because this is listed too. So a lot of the things is for me to list what I'm going to be listing. So prioritize. Right now Christmas stuff goes. A lot of my higher end items need to have some kind of cleaning or repair. So things that are going to take a lot of work don't take top priority. Smaller with a lot of bread and butter. I need I have a lot of bread and butter things, but I need to focus on getting a lot of those things listed as opposed to the high dollar stuff that takes longer to move. So anyway, if I have to spend my time thinking about through that, making those decisions, because also I have these arguments going in my head. Oh, go for the top dollar. No, go for the bread and butter. No, that thing is really cool, and I don't know much about that. Let's do research on it. It's, if I get that argument and decision made beforehand, it really helps. So I've said this before. I've got a whiteboard, and before I quit the night before, I jot down the things that I need to do. I put in my big blocks in my schedule, things that I have to do. I have to stretch in the morning. I need to go register my car. Different things like that, appointments that I have to go to and things like that. So that helps me out a lot. The next one is interruptions. Interruptions is huge. So one of the biggest ones is is YouTube. I've gotten in a habit to getting on those chats. I love getting on the chats. I love visiting with the same people, and meeting new people. I love getting on, seeing what's going on, and sharing experiences. And a lot of those pop in throughout the day. But those that pop in throughout the day, they interrupt my momentum of the day. So I need to cut those out completely. For now, for fourth quarter. I am not one that can listen to a video if there's anything that I want to watch on it. It distracts me. Matter of fact, a lot of times listening to talk at all really it distracts me. So putting on music is a lot better for me. Scheduling the time that I'm going to be watching and what videos I'm going to be watching, what chats I'm going to get into. I'm not going to eliminate all of them. But scheduling them in the morning time when I'm stretching is a perfect time to catch up on some videos and getting some chats. Again, like I said, at night, I'm not very good at night. I hit a wall, and so I'm not physically able to be productive, which is ironic. Early in the morning I am. I've got a stretch for 45 minutes to an hour and eat my breakfast, so I've got to schedule enough time so that it's still early morning when I'm done with that. I've been a night person since I was, 11, 12 years old. I used to, stay up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and sleep to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hey, I'm a musician. So anyway, so that's it. Schedule the YouTube. I get the notifications. I need to turn off the sound of the notifications. And that kind of leads me to the next one. That's notifications. It's amazing. I don't necessarily, when I get a notification, I don't necessarily go to that notification, if it's Facebook or something like that. But I do stop and look at it. And stopping and looking at it interrupts my momentum. I've got to get back to what I'm doing, retrain my thought, gets my focus away. So a lot of those notifications I do want to know those things, but I don't need to hear them. So then when I'm ready to look at them, I can look at them when I have time to look at them. So I'm turning the sound off of most of my notifications. I need to know when texts, phone calls, some email. I'm going to try it with email. I don't get a whole bunch of email. I've got really good filters on the email, so most of the junk goes other places. And eBay, eBay sales, the apps, things like that. I do need to know, Messenger, things like that. So I'll leave the sound on for those, turn the sound off of everything else. And I've got most of the notifications that come on my phone, I've got blocked. So notifications, social media. That's not a big problem for me. Except when I do have the notifications. If I'm not busy at something, I'm in between things, or if I'm at that confused state or trying to figure out what I need to do next, it's really easy to get sucked into social media. I just eliminate it. You know, you schedule time in the morning or whenever to check my social media, and that's about it. And I do need to grow my social media presence for my business, but fourth quarter is not the time to do that. Let's see, rabbit holes. That's a big one because oh gosh, what is that? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm a shiny quarter guy. I'm that squirrel, you know, big time. Rabbit hole, big time. Especially when if I don't enjoy what I'm doing, or if my brain isn't awake and I'm tired. So, but that can also be eliminated. Now, here's the thing with me. Here's where the flexibility comes in. Things do come up during the day that aren't scheduled. So if it's something that I already know and I already have on a list and I have it prioritized A, B, or C, then it's real easy when it comes up to look and say, well, I'm on an A event right now, and this is a B. If I do it today or if I do it tomorrow, it's fine. Or if this is a C, yeah, it needs to be done, but it doesn't need to be done today. There's no sense of urgency. So just got caught up in a rabbit hole, didn't I? So so when things come up, which can lead me in another direction, what works best for me is to just stop for a second instead of going there or saying no, I'm not going to, or whatever. It's just to stop and classify it A, B, or C, and figure out, does this need to be done right now? If it does, then we adjust and we move on, and we change our schedule. And if we don't get to everything at the end of the day that we're scheduled, guess what happens to it? Bam, it goes on the top of the list the next day. As far as the list of the items to list, that doesn't matter because I have that state list and it's just done until I get everything done. It's there. So rabbit holes aren't necessarily a bad thing, but I take a breath, take a second, classify them, put them in their place, jot them down if I need to, if they're a B or C. If they're a B, schedule them. If they're a C, jot them down, and then get back to what I was doing. So that's pretty much what I'm doing now. One of my major goals, and I hope this isn't rambling on too much. With me, I know a lot of people right now. It's coming to the end of there's very few yard sales. There's very few estate sales. It's coming to the end of your sourcing season. You don't have a lot of estate sales during the winter. No yard sales. You know, that kind of thing. So you're getting as much sourcing done as you can, and that's understandable. For me, I don't need to source. I have enough items, as I said before, but I also there aren't any yard sales when it's cold, but we still have 10 or 12 estate sales, 4 at the least in a week. I mean, we'll have 2 of them during a holiday. So I can always source. That's not a problem. I don't have, we have tons. Those people that that joined us for the Nashville reseller gathering, they saw we have tons of thrift stores. We have just so many. We are sourcing rich here. So sourcing for me in the fourth quarter is actually not an A event at all. It'd be more of an entertainment, but it gets in the way of my goals of getting a lot of listings done, clearing the walkway, clearing out some of the inventory and the goals that I have. Sourcing really doesn't fit in there. I probably will schedule a couple of days, probably as a reward for meeting goals and to get me out of the dang house. But they will be fun. I'll go visit some friends who have estate sales. I'll probably take some video at that time, but not for sourcing reasons. Not sourcing, if something falls in my lap, then I probably will grab it. But in that case, I need to make room for it. So for me, fourth quarter is not a time to source. Fourth quarter is, like I said, all hands on deck, all leave canceled. I need to be working, pushing, 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 pushing. So, one more sip. So that's it for today. I hope that wasn't too rambly. This is just my goals again. This is my game plan. I think you should make a game plan, definitely, but not my game plan. I hope this has helped you, though. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, share. Please comment. Share some of the goals that you have for fourth quarter, some of the ways that you are overcoming distractions and things that are standing in the way of being successful. Hit the ringy-dingy thing so you're notified every time I make a video. And as always, no matter what tune that life plays you, always find your groove. Enjoy your fourth quarter. Thanks for hanging out. Come back and see me.